Oh, you think your squad's gonna win it all this year, huh? You think your team got what it takes to grab that Larry O'Brien trophy? Well, I'm usually the guy that keeps things on a positive note around here. But as a disgruntled Suns fan who's had to watch this squad play no defense for over 70 games, see Eric Gordon shoot threes from 6 feet behind the line, and witness Grayson Allen play better than Bradley Beal all year, I got some negativity I gotta get out of me. I mean, I was ripping out my damn hair and had to change my background. That's how bad things got. So I'm gonna take it out on the rest of the league, damn it. So let's go ahead and look at some of these contenders. Now I wanna make sure I don't leave out any fan bases. Gotta make sure I equally spread out the hate, so some of these quote-unquote contenders might not be considered contenders in your eyes, but I'll shit on them regardless. In my wannabe expert opinion, we got 10 total contenders, 5 from each conference. Starting off with some of the biggest frauds I think that are considered in this conversation. I'm talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. With them being the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference at the time of this recording, I do love the moments that Donovan Mitchell has had throughout the year. The Darius Garland dimes, Jared Allen pretending to be Wilt Chamberlain for a stretch, Evan Mobley actually being able to find his footing after being injured. He's hurt again. And this goes into the issue as a whole. Injuries have plagued this team all year. And while you might make the argument that this reason alone should give the Cavs fans hope about the playoffs, getting all these wins with an injury-riddled squad, but does anyone remember last year's postseason performance? Literally everybody on the squad stats went downhill. Like, the whole starting 5 literally decreased in points scored. Mitchell, down 5. Mobley, down 6. Allen, down 5. Darius Garland's assist, the thing that he's really good at, he went from 7.8 a game to 5 in the postseason. Now, unless you think the addition of Max Strus and George Niang is going to be the difference maker, I think once again, the lights will be too bright for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Going to the West, and I hope you didn't think I was going soft on my team, the fraudulent Phoenix Suns. So just recently, this team squandered the 5% of me that thinks we can actually win it all. These dudes have shown me that they do not want a championship that bad. If I had told you to start the year that the Phoenix Suns are going to have a big 3 of Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, get the healthiest year from Yusuf Nurkic, a career year from Grayson Allen, where he's damn near shooting 50, 40, 90, and KD has not suffered any injuries, you'd probably bet on them being at least a top 4 seed, right? Well, that's not what the hell is happening. One of the things that made the Suns so deadly in their 2021 finals run was their ability to close out games so well. The game is within 10 going into the 4th quarter. Mark it down as a W for Phoenix. This 2024 campaign, we are dead last in net points in the 4th quarter. It's not even close. Phoenix has a disgusting minus 14.3 net rating in the 4th quarter. And you know who's in front of us at the 29th spot? The Miami Heat with a minus 6.7. I can't even tell you how this happens. You are not winning any sort of championships being Ice Spice levels of ass in the 4th quarter. It just doesn't happen. But next up, since we kind of just talked about them, we're going with the Miami Heat here. Now, you won't find a lot of believers like me just wandering around these days. I've been on the right side of history the 2 times that the Miami Heat had made it to the NBA Finals. The belief that I have for Jimmy Butler, Eric Spoelstra, and Bam Adebayo is hard for me to stray away from. That is, until this season. This team looks pretty similar to last year, I won't lie. With the season winding down and looking like they're going to end up with a top 10 defensive rating and a bottom 10 offensive rating, still having their main core guys, except playoff gods, Gabe Vincent and Max Strus, of course. This team on the surface looks like they might have a genuine chance to do a repeat of last year, right? Well, call me a lunatic, but I don't think performing like throughout the regular season to make the road to the finals hard is actually a good technique. Of course, everyone loves the underdog, and Jimmy Butler is the king of NBA underdogs, but really? Y'all are gonna end up as the 7th seed to what? Get into a fist fight with the Chicago Bulls in the play-in tournament? Get lucky and go against the Bucks that have Giannis with a damn near broken tailbone? Go from the worst shooting team in the league to the best again? Get out of my face, DJ Khaled. That shit's not working again.
Life. There's roadblocks.
Next up, we have the cursed Los Angeles Clippers. From Bob McAdoo not being able to carry the squad in the 70s to the team not making the playoffs for the entirety of the 80s to Elton Brand's talent being negated to making the playoffs once while he was there, to the constant injuries suffered by the Lob City squad. And the curse continues. After getting Kawhi and Paul George in the 1920 season, the team absolutely flounders in the bubble after being the second seed. The very next season, they make it the furthest in their franchise history with a Western Conference appearance. It just cost them Kawhi Leonard's knee and his presence for the whole next season, which also ended in a playoff loss. Then last year, they went to the postseason without Paul George and almost knocked the Suns out in the first round, until we saw yet another Kawhi injury in that series. This year does look to be promising though, as the new big brother of LA has went ahead and took steps to improve their depth, take the regular season more serious, integrate James Harden into their style of play beautifully, and flat out look like genuine contenders. But ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, the curse is real, and although we can't predict how the curse will work, we know it's coming. Then go all the way across the United States to the mecca of the country, the New York Knicks. So this is a team I quietly have fell in love with, as the Villanova boys have been spazzing all year long, from Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, and especially the 6'2 demon Jalen Brunson. Add in an all-defensive first-team caliber player in OG Anunoby, and you got a recipe for a really, really good team. But notice that I left out that one guy, one of the most polarizing players in the NBA, and that is Julius Randle. Say what you want about the guy. The attitude isn't always what people want from their favorite star. The shot selection can look a bit iffy at points. Maybe he thinks about his turn too much. But you know what you can't deny? A need for the Knicks to have a scoring punch, and I'm sure his 24-point per game average is missed by the organization. With his injury timeline looking very muddy, as he's still not able to practice with contact, I'm not sure they can rely on him coming back at the end of April, and already having slim chances of beating these upper echelon teams, I don't think the Knicks will be able to grit and grind their way to a championship. Now we're looking at the team who was getting absolutely clowned on to start the year off, that has completely flipped the public's perception of them, and that's the Minnesota Timberwolves. A year and a half removed from the massive Rudy Gobert trade that everyone straight up laughed at, is actually looking to be kind of good? With them at least locking in a top 3 seed in this loaded Western Conference, having a future megastar in Anthony Edwards, and Defensive Player of the Year that everyone seemed to agree on about 4 months ago in Rudy Gobert, what could possibly stop this team? Karl Anthony Towns. With his production plummeting all 3 times he's made the playoffs, I haven't seen anything that leads me to thinking something different will happen this year, especially considering that he's going to be limping back into the playoffs this year post meniscus repair surgery. You're telling me an at best 60% version of Karl Anthony Towns is going to be serviceable enough to help Ant lead the squad to a championship? Be real, little guy. And for that reason, I'm out. Next up, we're getting a tad bit spicy, because I do have a percentage of me that thinks this team actually can go ahead and get it done. But then I see Mr. Fucking Revolving Door go full on Matador mode. I lose hope for Damian Lillard and the Milwaukee Bucks. With this squad having an injured Chris Middleton a huge chunk of this year, and the whole firing your head coach in the middle of the season fiasco, you would think this team should still have a lot of hope that they can win it all. Because despite all the adversity, this team is still soundly in that second seed position in the East. But that's where Dr. Dash is here to diagnose you with severe delusion. Because this team had won in their run off of absurd defensive moments that completely shifted momentum in games, particularly in that finals run. The block on DeAndre Ayton, I mean the block. Okay, not the block, but like second place for the title of the block, is this absurd recovery from Giannis. And then the other one that still makes me wake up from cold sweats from time to time is the Drew Holiday steal on Devin Booker to seal up the series. But this team just does not have that point of attack defender that Drew Holiday was for them. Damian Lillard is quite the opposite of that. As much as I love the Greek Freak, he can't do everything on defense. And defense wins championships, especially from this organization. So 1 + 1 = 2. No guard defense on the Bucks equals no championship. And then we got the young up-and-coming Oklahoma City Thunder. And look, I'll keep it short and sweet. You got no one to back up Chet for when you go against those heavy-hitting bigs in the playoffs. And y'all are too damn young. I mean, the last time a team this young had won the chip was during the forgotten years of the NBA in the late 70s. Bill Walton. Yes, this Bill Walton had won with the Portland Trail Blazers in 1977. The league has changed, and I don't think a certain experienced championship team that we'll talk about here soon is going to let that slide. Ooh. Here we go. This is the real juicy part of the video. Let's have a conversation about the Boston Celtics. And look, by far the most dominant team during this regular season. Probably going to end up having a 60-win year. They have all NBA level talents on their team in Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Kristaps Porzingis. You also got the best defending backcourt in the entire league with Derek White and Drew Holiday, the best offensive rating in the league, the third best defensive rating, the best overall net rating, and probably the best three-point shooting team in the league. What could go wrong here? I'll tell you what. You need a top 5 player in the league to win a championship. Flat out. Go back as far as you want in NBA history. Okay, not the 04 Pistons, but literally every team in NBA history has a consensus top 5 player on their team. From the Jokic's, to the Currys, to the LeBrons, to the Tim Duncans, to the Shaqs, to the Jordans, to the Magics. You get it. And I'll stand on business right here and say that Jason Tatum is not a top 5 player in the league right now. Go ahead, Celtics fans. Blast me with hate all you want. But you know deep down in your heart that he is not better than Jokic, Giannis, Shea, Luka, Embiid, Kawhi, Curry, or Kevin Durant. And I'll sit and listen to some cases from other guys. Remember, people, we were saying Booker over Tatum. I mean, in a series, I'd probably take LeBron over Tatum still. I'm just being honest with you. So even though Boston is cooking up something super special over there right now, they're still missing a key ingredient. And maybe that main ingredient in Jason Tatum will eventually ripen enough to where he can be that guy, but I don't see it this year. Now I have a confession, guys. I lied. I said I'd lay out all the flaws for the contenders at the start of this video, but that was a fib.
Liar.
The Denver Nuggets don't have any goddamn flaws. And I know nothing's perfect, but good Lord. I mean, that playoff run they went on last year was damn near perfection. Mollywhopping everyone that stood in their path. The Nuggets' chemistry and team ball is borderline unwithable. From Jokic being Nikola Jokic. I mean, holy shit, did you guys see this pass? To Aaron Gordon looking like he was crafted in a lab to be Jokic's perfect running mate. Jamal Murray going God mode in every playoff series he's been a part of. I think we're about to see a repeat of champions this year. I didn't even mention that Michael Porter Jr. will just go ahead and hit 5 threes on you randomly, while KCP plays lockdown defense and might hit 5 threes of his own. Coach Malone simply has his team running like a well-oiled machine, and we're witnessing greatness before our very own eyes. I'm not a betting man, but if you're gonna put money down at all, please play it safe and make sure you got the Nuggets winning it all. Because honestly, guys, it's looking scary over there in the Mile High City. But what do you think, Dash and Hoopers? Am I delusional in thinking that the Nuggets will steamroll the competition? Do you think that I'm a tool for saying Tatum isn't a top 5 player? Did I leave out a team that you think could be in contention? Actually, if you're a Lakers or Warriors fan that's saying that, I was gonna say let me know, but keep that goofy shit to yourself. For the rest of you, let me know down in the comments below, and as always, y'all have a phenomenal rest of your day.